and welcome to the show. We've got a storming set of highlights for you from round 12, including Cambridge versus Leeds Tykes and Chester versus Sedgley Park, but we start with a top of the table clash in Cornwall. Nat 2 South leaders Redruth have been unstoppable, but can Worthing Raiders, the early pace setters who have now lost 2 on the bounce, weather that storm at the recreation ground? That was Lee again. There's 3 men, all of them committing into the forwards. They think they can take Redruth in the close game. There goes another one, and that is the first try. And Levi Davis takes the spoils. Worthing have tempered that early Redruth storm of power and pressure and burst through the Red Waller defence to get the first try of the afternoon. And this time goes to still Barker. There's more acceleration, there's more power. Strong hold from the number 5 and number 6 for Redruth. That is getting ever closer. And surely the dive will come soon. Now they get round the side, and there is the score. He did it against Clifton, he did it against Canterbury, and now he's done it against Worthing. The opening try for the home side, and it goes to Richard Brown. A good response. Nigel Hamley would have wanted that. What can Redruth do with the ball? Buzzer. Oh, Alican in the way, but they was going away. Honey finding Kevin, lovely hands, and here's the fullback Truin. He's on the outside. EDMUNDS, he's breaking away. Kyle Bradley. Redruth run riot through that Worthing defence. They rip them apart. Well, he's got the touch, hasn't he, Kyle Bradley? He's level with Jack Alton in terms of the club's top scorer, and crucially, it draws them level with Fraser Honey looking for this kick to take them ahead for the first time in this game. Nice and low, but it doesn't find the mark, so we remain level at 10-all. Anscombe, he's found Sims, there goes Forrest, he's broken away from 2 tackles. That's absolutely brilliant from the centre, trying to get around another one, he's so close. That is simply sensational from Jack Forrest. That's his 5th try of the season, and that is perhaps the best one so far. Worthing side through. Wonderful work from Worthing. They are back ahead. There's Taggart. He's been a real influence actually in the couple of minutes he's been on. It's those motions just getting any way over the gain line. Puts them right back on the ascendancy. Dobinson and Leeming has come on as well. Oh, now another breakaway from Worthing. This time it's Harrison Sims. This time he gets tackled. Davis getting involved. Taggart again. Worthing have really woken up right now. Dobinson to Leeming. Harrison Sims, there's 3 men on that option. That's Jack Forrest. He's got Matt McLean. Forrest is trying to go himself, but there goes Matt McLean. Worthing have shocked Redruth in the last 2 minutes. It's a case of narrow margins this season in Nat 2 South, and that has only tightened the belt. The recreation ground has witnessed a rip-roaring affair. Full-time, Redruth 10, Worthing Raiders 24.
Yeah, I think the players have just realised they've got to get a grip of our season. They've had a really good start, but it's very competitive, and there's no better place to come down and test yourself as a performance. I felt the boys dug in, but we've got a really tough block coming up. We've got Clifton at home, and we've got also Esher at home, so the show's not over yet.
Definitely, and obviously now this has really tightened things up at the top. I mean, what does that tell us about how competitive National 2 South is?
Just for me, I think it's fantastic. I think it shows it's a great testament to all the clubs. They're actually doing their bit, and we want to be in a competitive league, and it keeps it alive for everyone. So for me, it gives me a headache, and I'm losing even more hair each week. But as an advert for rugby, as grassroots rugby, I think it's fantastic.
On the other side of the country, Cambridge were looking to make it 8 games unbeaten as they hosted Leeds Tykes.
A surprise result and a first away win for Leeds Tykes at Grantchester Road. 4 penalties and a yellow card in the first 5 minutes led to Anthony Macker getting over for Cambridge's first 6 minutes into the game, followed by Jake Garside 2 minutes later. Matt Hemmer made it 3 at the 20-minute mark. All 3 conversions going begging in the wind. Andrew Lawson touchdown for Leeds first in first half added time, converted by Charlie Venables, who added another to Javier Valentine's second half touchdown, and the penalty that proved the difference as Leeds held on for a 17-15 victory. Cambridge, for the first time in 8 games, failed to function in the line-out and at the set piece, and Leeds went home with a very well-deserved win.
Here's the rest of the National One action, including Plymouth Albion's 500-mile round trip to Tonbridge.
Talk about using the conditions to your advantage. Tom White used his boot twice to fly the ball between the posts for a Tonbridge Juddians lead. But Plymouth Albion put the pressure on the ground, earning their try with 15 minutes to go through Dan Pulling-Jaham and edging ahead. Damien Welch's side would travel home with nothing though, as White slotted a fourth penalty for the first TJ's win in 8 games. "30 miles away, Bishop Stortford battled to a 6-point lead, Tom Walker striking from distance twice with the boot. But Blackheath burst into life just before the break, Jake Hennessy finishing a blistering move for the only try of the afternoon. Chinner cracked the code for winning at home with a bonus point haul at Kingsey Road, Fred Tuilangi opening the scoring. Taunton Titans have one moment to cheer when Charlie Wright bundled over, but the hosts made it back-to-back wins for the first time since September. Looking upwards, a gruelling contest in the Wirral saw Caldy go ahead from this penalty try before the break, but Rosslyn Park's expansive running game was too much for the promoted side, Nick Scott scoring the third of their 4 tries.
Red offside.
And the top of the table clash at Dockham Road certainly delivered. Cinderford led after 5 minutes from Michael Wilcox's score, but Sale's disciplined defending was rewarded with spaces in the second half which Fergus Mulcrone exploited for the lead. The finishing touch involved the centre as he set up Tom Walsh to hand the Foresters their first home defeat of the season. Birmingham Moseley's game against Rams was postponed due to adverse weather conditions from Storm Arwen. Stay tuned for some snowy pics at Billesley Common. Rosslyn Park's win puts them back on top, while Chinner are up to third. Blackheath are into the top half, while Birmingham Moseley slip into the bottom half for the first time.
Let's head up to Chester in Nat 2 North now, as Sedgley Park arrived looking to return to winning ways, having lost 2 on the bounce.
It was a cold and windy one, but the sun was shining at least. Great win by Sedgley, great team performance. Matt Gallagher, the hooker for Sedge, had a really good game, really good darts, really good round the park. The tempo at the ruck was really good for Sedgley. We kept it very quick at the ruck area, you know, got some quick ball outs to the backs, and I think ultimately we tired out the Chester forwards very early on. Performed really well as a team, so they'll be really pleased with that result going into sort of December and going into January. So let's hope they keep the form up. You know, Chester, I'm sure they're going to bounce back really strong next week, and 2 really good teams, but again, really good performance by Sedgley.
Here's the rest of the National 2 North action, including a North East mid-table clash at Station Road. Despite being battered by the tail end of Storm Arwen and a power outage, Tynedale cruised to a 17-3 lead in the first 40 through Ben Blackburn. And it became unassailable to visitors Wharfdale a minute after the restart, Guy Pike setting up Alex Ball here. The travelling faithful did have something to cheer as Ryan Hamilton grabbed his 10th score of the campaign, but 1 away win in 7 is bad news for Wharfdale. Ruthless is the only word to describe Rotherham Titans in round 12 as they put 11 tries past Loughborough students. Starting in the second minute with Sam Boxall, they had 6 unanswered scores by the break, James Cook finishing a swift team move. Having conceded 3 mauling tries, the students did find a gap with 6 minutes to go for Will Saunders to score in consecutive games. But it was a drop in the ocean of Titans' dominance, finished in the last minute by Matt Drennan's quick thinking. The West Yorkshire derby saw Harrogate take an early initiative as Declan Thompson powered over against Simbind Huddersfield. But the hosts' sustained pressure edged them ahead, getting daylight through Kean Stewart's brilliant break for Liam Stapley to finish. The result gives Huddersfield back-to-back wins for the first time this season, the victory finished off by Lewis Workman. And what a game at Mortimer Park. Fylde looked set for another heavy win when Matt Garrard charged over 3 minutes in. But Lucktonians stood strong and were within 2 points following Frank Kelly's effort 11 minutes later. The bottom half side then stretched even further ahead after the break as their pack power was too much for Fylde to secure a penalty try. While Charlie Partington made sure a losing bonus was taken back on the 150-mile journey home, Lucktonians could celebrate a very impressive scalp. Storm Arwen had a big impact on Nat 2 North with Hull vs Bourneville, Sheffield Tigers vs Hull Ionians and Stourbridge vs Blaydon all postponed. Read about all the action in the rugby paper. The top half changes once again as Sedgley Park and Rotherham Titans both climb into the top 3, and it's tighter at the bottom with Tynedale, Lucktonians and Huddersfield wins, putting them within 5 points of Chester. And let's finish where we started in National 2 South, including a big clash at the bottom of the table.
Hinckley looks set for a good afternoon at Leicester Road as Josh Smith finished this swift move early on. But a red card for hooker Adam Johnson swung momentum to Rochford 100, scoring 2 quick tries to lead before half-time. The winds of fortune favoured the 14 men though, as captain Alex Salt led from the front for a winning brace. An upset looked to be on at the Gables as Greg Bannister kicked bottom side Westcliff into a 9-0 lead. The turnaround was brutal for the hosts, battling both the conditions and Bury St Edmunds' powerful pack, which earned a crucial penalty try. In the capital, Barnstaple worked hard to draw level as Jake Child smashed over the line for 8-all. Barnes took a firm grip in the second half, strutting their stuff in a slick move finished by Paul O'Dell to make it 3 games unbeaten. Another side in strong form are Henley Hawks, who looked on course for a huge score when Alex Bradley scored their 5th try in the first 30 minutes. Dings Crusaders rallied in the second half though, securing their own scoring bonus following Harry Rowson's break. The game of 2 halves unfolded at Station Road, with Clifton's backs once again in full flow for Finn Sharp to top the scoring charts on 10 tries. But Canterbury dominated the second half, squeezing out an Alex Evans score and a thriller at the Woolhams. Leicester Lions star Ben Young had the bit between his teeth. Old Albanian responded in kind through a brace from Elliot McFun, giving them the lead following the break. But discipline would be the deciding factor as the hosts gifted Young 2 penalty kicks, the latter giving victory to the Lions. Esher's home game against Guernsey was postponed due to the Islanders' flight being cancelled amid Storm Arwen. The stormy weather has blown 4 teams up the table and tightened the top half to just 6 points. Dings Crusaders dropped by 2, while the bottom 5 remain the same.
And just before we go, here are some things you may have missed from round 12. At the recreation ground there was some half-time entertainment for Redruth and Worthing fans. It was brilliant to hear some sea shanties in Cornwall. What's your team's song? Let us know on social media. While Storm Arwen brought National League Rugby to a halt in some areas, it also produced some amazing snowy scenes. Here's the winter landscapes at Birmingham Moseley, Bourneville and Sheffield Tigers. You definitely struggle to play in that. And round 12's Player of the Week goes to Huddersfield and the incredible run by winger Kean Stewart, whipping through the defence like the wind to set up Lee and Stapley in their win over Harrogate. That's it from Cornwall as Worthing blow in to stun Redruth and everyone here at the Rec. See you next week.